Hi, my name is Joe, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can generate more leads for your business, and we'll go over the different lead sources that you can look into. Okay, so if you haven't seen any other videos from my channel, basically the goal of this channel is to help owners increase their sales and basically work less and earn more. The goal is basically to go from working 60, 70, 80 hours a week down to about 15 minutes a day like I currently do. Now my wife is the one that actually runs the company, but she only works maybe an hour or two at the very most, and it's basically just help as needed. If there's any questions, anything like that. So in total, we're down to maybe 10 to 15 hours a week tops. Okay, so the different kinds of leads. So, and that's the name of the game. If you haven't watched the other videos, I show you basically how, as far as why you should be paying for leads. And I also show you how to basically, if you're currently, the main, I guess your main service is just say $7,000 and you're typically making $2,000. Well, I'll show you how to go from $7,000 to $7,500 or even $8,500 for the same exact service. So look at those videos. There's links in the descriptions as well for them. And it's all pretty simple once you start looking at the math behind it, because as a business, that's all we really have is the math. And once you fix the math and the equations, then your life becomes a hell of a lot easier. Okay, so the first thing we have to look at is your different lead sources. Okay, it's done. Okay, so the first one obviously is Facebook. Now for Facebook, you have like the marketplace, which I personally haven't used. There's people that use it, but I always looked at it like it was more or less like a yard sale. So I didn't see too many people that would pay a high price in there, especially what I've seen for advertising. And then you have your Facebook groups. Oops, I'll just put groups. Friends and family. And this is basically where you're sending, you could send links to people, or if you're posting on your own page, whatever. The Facebook groups, so these would be your different local groups. So it could be a specific town, like there's plenty of towns that have their own Facebook groups, and they'll constantly ask for recommendations for fence companies or decks or this or that. So basically you want to have, if possible, past customers recommend you, or yourself, or whatever, or your wife, whatever. You can do that. Okay. The next one, and I'm kind of going like the cheapest to the most expensive. And obviously with Facebook, you have their ads as well. Now, me personally, I have not had a great experience with Facebook ads, and because I'm not a great creative person, I have tried hiring and have hired different agencies, but it's never worked out. I'll probably be going back to this in the springtime, and actually probably shortly, to use it more of like a brand awareness. I'm not looking to get direct sales from it, but just building up to where the goal is for as many people to know about you and to think about you first when they want to have a service done. Not necessarily get it right then, but if they keep on hearing about you or whatever else, then they're more likely to go with you or at least call you. Okay. So you have that. The next thing we want to look at is Craigslist. Okay, this is personally, oh, that's horrible. This is personally what I started with when I first started my fence company. I still use it occasionally. It's dirt cheap. Before it was free. Now it's $5 per post. And typically that post, and you do want to post in multiple towns, because Craigslist will have, like for me, I'm in South Jersey, so we can do South Jersey, Central Jersey, the Jersey Shore. There's also Pennsylvania, and then you can do like Delaware. So that's all of them. But typically each area you'll be towards the top of the list, because that's what you want to do with Craigslist, is towards the top. Typically, like I said, it's $5 per town, and at least 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, that you'll be in the top. So, if you advertise in 4 different areas, you're looking at like maybe 25, 30 bucks a month. So it's really good to get into. Now, this is the same as like the marketplace. Is there going to be cheap people? 100%. But cheap people are everywhere. But there are people that are willing to pay on Craigslist as well. It's just where they happen to search. Okay. The next one are referrals. Oh my God, I can't spell. I think I spelled that wrong. So you have referrals. So that's / word of mouth. Okay. Now, these are going to be your best source possible. I explained this in the other videos, but, if most things, they take you, I look at the close ratio. So let's just say it takes you 10 calls to receive a job. Okay, so that would be for most everything, or it could be even as high as 20 to 1, depending on what's going on. But then your referrals, that might be anywhere from like 3 to 5 to 1. Okay, so obviously, because, if your aunt used you or whatever, or a neighbor used your company and then they referred it to their neighbor, then because it's a closer relationship, they're more likely to go with you because they're going to trust you more. Okay. The next thing is Google. Okay. I spend all my time on Google, like as far as the advertising, all my time, because everyone does the same exact thing. Whether you're a fence company, whether you're a deck company, it doesn't matter what you are, but whatever your service is, they're typing service, whatever your service, fence company, whatever, near me. Every time. Like if you look through, if you're in Google Ads and you search, you will see that most of your searches are this. And it's important because, and it doesn't matter if they're on the Android phone or iPhone, it doesn't matter. They're always searching the same thing, always. They might do fence company, fence contractor, whatever. Or they might type in cheap fence company near me, or inexpensive inexpensive fence company near me. Whatever it may be, they're still typing in service near me. Happens all the time. Okay? So there's a few different areas that they're going to be looking in now. Okay, so the one is the Google My Business, or the GMB, and the other one is organic. Okay, and then finally is the ads. Okay, and this is where you have to focus on all three. Okay, in my opinion. And honestly, Google My Business and organic, it's kind of like hand in hand, but different areas. Because what you're going to see is when you search on Google, you have this page. Okay, so this is where they're typing in, this is where the search results, and then they're typing, fence company up here. And then you have the results. So what's going to happen is there's basically three sections. You have this first one, second one, and third one. Okay, so the first section up here is going to be your ads. Okay, the next down here is the Google Maps section. Now this is by far, so we have ads, map, and then we have organic. Okay. So as you can tell, the ads, Google Ads, are going to be up here, and then they're also at the very bottom, but no one really looks at them. The next part is your map section, which is all about your Google My Business. Okay. And what happens with the Google My Business, if you're not familiar, and you really should be, but basically there's going to be a list of companies here. There's going to be typically 3 fence companies. They have been adding more and more ads, so you might see one ad, maybe 2 at the very top, and then you'll have 3 of the local listings. Okay. Well, what's important is when people find you in this section, they're going to be pre-sold to you, or more likely to be pre-sold. It's kind of like almost getting referrals and word of mouth from this. And the reason for that is when they see this, they're basically going to see company A, B, and C. Now, and this is the same thing applies to Amazon when you're shopping on Amazon. Okay, so you have 3 products, and they all 3 of them look exactly the same, right? This one's $60, this one's $75, this one's $100. Okay. At this point, if there was no reviews, no nothing else, you would be picking this $60. But what ends up happening is this might have a 3.9 rating, this might have a 4.2, but this has a 4.9, and then also has 170 reviews. This one only has 66, and this one only has 21. Okay. And because of this, what happens is you're automatically trained to go with this one. Why is that? Because you will be willing to pay more money because they have not only better reviews, but they have more reviews. So what happens is you're more likely to trust these because, one, they have more reviews. So we're trained to basically, as a species, is to stick together. If we don't stick together, then we die off. Okay, so you're automatically, 9 times out of 10, is you're going with this because of the better reviews, you feel safer, and because there's more reviews, you feel like you're more in the pack, and there's just more trust and weight put into these reviews. Obviously, people are checking to see what the bad reviews look like. I personally do that, but you're going to end up going like this. Same thing happens over here because you're going to have company A, B, and C, and it's just going to be the same thing. It's 4.9, 3.6, 4.2. So then, and then you have like the, 170, 66, 21. Okay? And it's just the same process. They're more likely to call this person because they have better reviews and more reviews than the other ones. And then also, they're already more pre-sold. So what ends up happening is they're more likely to go with you, one, and two, they are willing to pay more money for you as well. Again, and there's the other video, there'll be a link in the description, or if I can have it pop up somewhere, but it'll show you again how to go from charging, if your average service is $7,000, with different techniques, we show you how to go from 75 to 85. And what happens is you just generate a hell of a lot more profit. So you either make a hell of a lot more money throughout the course of the year, or you're able to do a lot less jobs. So you don't have to work 80 hours a week anymore. You can easily go down to 60 hours or 50 hours just by raising your prices. Okay. So anyway, and then this is, the map section, but this is really important. Again, there's going to be other videos listed for the Google My Business section. Okay. Now the organic section, that's down here. Now, this you do want to focus on as well, but this takes longer, especially depending on what service you're in, especially if you're in like HVAC, especially this area. It's been crazy for Hutchinson and what's the other one? The Orange Company. It's escaping my mind. I forget, but it's the Orange Company. I don't know, but they spend a shit ton of money. Same thing for roofing. There's a lot of advertising on roofing. So this does take more time to get into. But we generate a lot of phone calls from this as well. Oh, speaking of this, I left this out, which I don't usually. The reason why also you want to focus on the Google My Business section, besides being pre-sold, besides being able to sell more, is because of the sheer amount of phone calls you will get. People call from this all the time. We have call tracking set up. Basically, I have 20, it's probably like 20 different phone numbers at this point. But we have one for like the Google My Business section. We have one for Google Ads. We have one for like our, there's different types of ads within the Google Ads. We have different phone numbers for each of those, so we know where they're calling from. There's phone numbers for like the organic section. So no matter how they find me, same thing for Facebook, there's ones in there for that. For Craigslist, there's phone numbers in for that. Like there's phone numbers for everything. And the reason for that is I can go through and see, where the phone calls are coming from and which ones generate the leads. And just from the Google My Business section, this is the beginning of December, but we've had over 3,800 phone calls at this point. And by the end of the year, we're going to have 4,000 phone calls just from the Google My Business section. Now, yes, there's people that call multiple times, but even if you took that by a third, we're still at like 1,300 leads a year just from this. And I didn't pay any money for it. But that's a lie too. I spend the program I use, and there's you'll see the video about it, but I pay $500 a year for this. That's it. So anyway, these are the type of leads. But the other thing you also have to look at on the final thing is the way to increase your leads is you want to be doing all this. You want to do all the online stuff. But what you have to realize is like you have this, this area and this. So this is your traffic, okay? And this, they're either going to your phone, like they'll just call right away, or they're going to go to your the website. And what I found is if your website, especially your landing page, and that's something else within the Google Ads section, is I'm not going to go into full detail, but if you're sending traffic to your website, but you're always sending them to the same web page, like most people just send them to your homepage, which is fine. But if you're spending money on Google Ads and someone's typing in, like in my case, if they're searching for a vinyl fence, I better send them to a page that's all about vinyl fences. I don't want to send them to a page that's about everything. It's kind of like if you click on ads for, like if you're searching for something online and you're looking for a fishing rod. And I don't know why you get a fishing rod on Amazon, but then again, my wife just got diamond earrings on Amazon, which is crazy. But so what will end up happening is, just imagine you were the fishing rod and there was an ad for Amazon. It's a fishing rod, and when you clicked on it, it sent you to beach balls or soccer balls or something like that. Well, what are the chances of you buying that fishing rod? Like next to nothing, because they didn't send you to where you want it. So what ends up happening is like you go onto the website and then you bounce off and go somewhere else. Well, the same thing happens where if they're searching for a vinyl fence and you're spending money, you better send them to a vinyl fence page, because that's what they want. They don't want to go hunt and look for stuff because, again, as a species, we are looking for the path of least resistance. So if we click on an ad that says vinyl fence and I get to a page that has all different types of fences, more than likely I'm not spending the time. I'm just going to click on another website to go find what I want, because it's easier to click on another website to see if they have what I want instead of searching on your website for that. The other thing you got to look at for your landing page. Okay, so the first thing is relevant. I definitely saw that wrong. Relevant content. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is you have to make sure that it's fast. Okay, There's all types of trackers online on Google, like Google Site Speed Test. You can do that, and you'll see like what issues you have, and it'll basically give you a grade between 0 and 100. But if it's not fast, they're not going to stay around. So I forget what the number is. It's like it's supposed to be under 5 seconds, but honestly, it should be quicker. But again, like if it's taking too long and all they're seeing is this thing scrolling and circling around, they're going to just come in and they see that thing going around and around and around, and then they don't want to wait, so they bounce off and go somewhere else. Okay. The other thing is, it's not about you. This is huge. If they go to your website and it is like I own Deptford Fence. Deptford Fence is the greatest fence company in South Jersey, and we're great because we do this, this, and this, and blah, blah, blah. They don't care. They don't care about your company. They don't care if you've been in business for 30 years. They don't care if you've done 1,000 fence installations in a month. They don't give a shit. All they care about is what's in it for them. Okay? So there's a book that I highly recommend. It's called Building a Story Brand, I believe. Yeah, Story Brand by Miller. I don't have the book in front of me. I must have it in the other room. Donald Miller. It's Building a Story Brand, and then it's also book he has that's great is Marketing Made Simple, and I think he has another one coming out too about business running. I haven't looked at that yet though. But basically, if you're talking about your company, they don't give a shit. So it's immediately talking about them, how you're going to make their life better, whatever it is. So you got to look at that. Every area is different. So like if you're doing a kitchen remodel, it's not like we build amazing kitchens. It's not like what you're actually providing. It's not the service you provide. It's what they're actually getting in return. And that might sound a little weird, but it's not for fencing. So it's not you're getting this brand new fence. Like you're not getting this vinyl fence. Like no one cares about the vinyl fence. It's what the vinyl fence could do for them. So is it the safety and security of that vinyl fence? Is it the fact that their dogs aren't going to get out? Is that what it is? Is it they have some crazy neighbor and they have to block them out? Does their neighbor have a bunch of shit on the side of their yard and they don't want to see that anymore? Like what is it? What are they getting from that fence? Why are they specifically getting it for, why are they getting your service? And for that, you need to start asking the people when you call, why are you looking to have this get done? Like that's a number one question. Why? Because not only that, it helps you figure out what they want, and then you can use that information to start putting into your landing pages, which is super important. But it also helps you sell at higher rates as well, because when you know what the customer wants and you understand why they want it, then you can start talking to it, why they want it. Like I just got stopped by a guy when I went to the post office. He wanted a fence, but he only wanted like 13 feet and with 2 double gates. And I'm like, that's going to be really expensive. And he's like, how expensive? I'm like, honestly, I don't know because I don't do this. Like, I didn't want to say I don't work, but more or less I don't do it. And I asked, well, why are you getting the fence? And so he tells me he does hot rods and everything else, and he's got cars that are worth like crazy amounts of money. So if he was just a regular customer and he wanted 13 feet of fence and I'm charging $2,000, like in my mind, that's a lot of money for just the fronts. And plus most people want to pay that. But if he has this barn and this blocks the access from people getting in, like the $2,000 stops people from getting into this barn and messing with cars that are, if he has, I forget what the cars were, but he says the one was going to be worth a couple $100,000. I don't know if it was bullshit or not. But if he's got a car that's worth $200,000 that he wants to protect, $2,000 is nothing. Like he's not going to pay $2,000. Like he'd gladly pay $3,000 for this fence, which I would think is crazy. But anyway, when you understand your customer, you're able to charge more. So going back to this, here's the lead sources. Again, if I was to start all over, the first two things you want to go with is Facebook and Craigslist. For Facebook, you want to go with the marketplace, though again, I haven't really used it. You're going to check out the groups and then hit up friends and family. Basically put in posts like, hey, I just started this fence company. Let me know if you need help, blah, blah, blah. Same thing for Craigslist. You're going to do that as well. Once you have jobs start going in, you're going to be doing referrals. And then again, this Google for Google, the Google My Business is absolutely huge. So that's number one that you want to be doing as well. And then after that, you start messing with the organic. And then once you have money coming in, then you start messing with the ads. Again, if you haven't watched the video on the advertising, it basically shows you how advertising is like a broken slot machine. Okay. And the reason why I mean that is what happens is, and I'm just throwing out random numbers, but like on an average job, if your average job is 7,000, okay, and the profit after materials and labor, just say at the low end 30%, So just say it's $2,100 in profit after materials and labor. Well, what happens with advertising is typically throwing shit. Every area is different. Every service is different. Everything is different. But even if you say on the high side that you pay $500 for a customer on the high side, well, what ends up happening is you paid $500 to make $2,100. It's kind of like going to a slot machine. Like, would you take $100 to the slot machine? And I should have did a different number. It's the end of the day. I'm not doing math. But would you go to the slot machine, like to the casino, and if you knew there was one specific slot machine that you put in $500 and you got $2,100 out, how often would you do it? The answer is all the time, unless you're stupid. Like, it's that simple. There's also another video that shows you how to use advertising to take this again from 2,100 and 7,021 to 75 and 26, and then also shows you how to go from to 8,500, right, and make 36 through the use of advertising. It's simple once you look at it. So check out the videos, they're in the description. There might be one at the end of the thing. But again, these are the type of lead sources, and this is the way you bring in a lot of jobs. But again, one of the key things that most people overlook is they're happy with driving tons of traffic. So this is, your Facebook, with the marketplace, the groups, the friends and family, the ads, you got your Craigslist, and then you have your Google, and you're taking all that traffic and you're shoving it down to your phone calls, which if you don't have anyone to answer the phone calls, that's a waste. And then, but a lot of people are sending all these people to a website that looks like shit. And it's not only looks like shit, but you're sending them to the wrong content. You're talking about your company instead of what your company can do for them. And a lot of times it's slow as crap because you're using WordPress, which is fine, I use it too. But if you don't optimize it, it's gonna run slow as crap. So you have all this traffic coming in, whether you're paying for it or not, they're coming in and they're going out to some other company because this is all screwed up. So this is something else that needs to be fixed as well. There will be a video. At this point, I don't have one, but I will make one because I'm on this mission of doing one new video a day, Monday through Friday, with the weekends off. So have a great day. Thanks.